So I now go to the three stages of Tagalog spelling as identified by Lactau, and this was published in 1914. Okay, so according to Lactau, the first stage of Tagalog spelling was from 1751 to 1754. What is this? It is marked by the introduction of the Roman alphabet. Okay? The second stage is from 1754 to 1889, which he now calls the period of confusion and retrogression because of the use of unnecessary vowels and spellings from the Spanish orthography. And finally, he says that there's a third stage. And what is this stage? It's 1889 to 1913, and this is where the former letters of the Baybayin, W and K, were reintroduced. So not officially, but they were introduced. People started using W and K again from 1889 to 1913, and let's find out why later on, okay? Okay. Now, here are the influences of the third stage. How did W and K make their comeback? Okay, that's what we want to find out. So, you would have in 1884 and 1887 the publication of two texts, Contribución para Estudio de los Antiguos Alfabetos Filipinos and El Sanscrito en la Lengua Tagala by Trinidad Hermenegildo Pardo Tevera. And both texts are actually studying the script of the Tagalog language. You also have in 1889 the Diccionario Hispano-Tagalog by Pedro Serrano Lactau. Remember, we were it was Lactau who was kind of identifying the stages of the script, of the Tagalog script. Okay, now Jose Rizal also publishes in 1890 sobre la nueva ortografía de la lengua Tagalog. And he publishes this in La Solidaridad. Okay, so you may ask, well, what is the La Solidaridad? So you have to remember that La Solidaridad was an organization that later published its magazine, the La Solidaridad, and this magazine, or this newspaper, La Solidaridad, was the instrument of several Filipinos called Ilustrados, meaning Filipinos who had gone to Spain to study, and therefore they were called Ilustrados from the root word luz, meaning light, so they were called the enlightened, because they were actually part of the propaganda movement seeking for reforms from Spain. And so we could say that this particular article by Rizal, published in the La Solidaridad, was part of that reformist project. Okay? You would also have in 1895 an article called Los Antiguos Alfabetos de Filipinas by Wenceslao Retana. What does this all mean? Why are these articles important? So this just means that these scholars were really studying the Filipino script, or the indigenous Tagalog script, vis-a-vis the new script as introduced by the Spaniards, and we're looking at the letters in the context of colonialism. So that's what it means. Okay, so now you have this book, Brains of the Nation, Rizal Mojares, and this Mojares book might be interesting for you because it talks about the writings of these people, and it's entitled Brains of the Nation.